This was a huge, a monumental victory for President Trump. The biggest legal win of this administration so far. A total embarrassment for crazy Judge Boasberg, who's been trying to force this president to bring foreign alien terrorists back onto American soil, trying to turn our planes around, trying to empty prisons in foreign countries and bring them back to our soil. This is a monumental, colossal victory for the rule of law, for the Constitution, for our founding generation, John Adams, who signed this law into effect in 1798, and for President Trump in fulfilling his mandate and campaign pledge. What does this mean for you and your family watching at home tonight? It means that the Department of Justice, FBI, DEA, ATF, the U.S. Marshal Service, Customs and Border Protection, Border Patrol, and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement now have maximum authority to find and remove illegal alien gang members from Venezuela that have been responsible for so much misery in this country, for the torture and murder of Jocelyn Nungary, for the brutal slaying of Laken Riley. Those monsters can now be hunted down and expelled from this country with speed, force, and efficiency. This is a great day for America, Sean.
So funny that I felt like I seen this a mile away. Like, come on. Congress passed a bill that allowed Trump or presidents to have the authority to deport people under the Aliens and Enemies Act. And a federal judge says, no, Congress don't have the authority to give power to the president. We do. And he thought he was going to win the Supreme Court. This is funny. So now, as you know, breaking Supreme Court rules, Trump has authority to use Aliens, Enemies, and Act against Venezuelan illegals. Judge Boasberg order is void, right? Guy with a lot of conflict of interest. Daughter works in something that deals with immigration, right? And he somehow put himself on the case, and people are asking, hey, should we investigate this guy? Because he's a chief judge. Did he force himself to be on this case? And I think he did for political reasons, right? And, you hear a lot of narratives going about how the left is trying to say that people are souring on Trump, people are regretting Trump. And I don't see that, honestly. And I showed videos. I think I'm going to stop talking about tariffs for a while, but I could continue talking about tariffs if the left keep bringing it up. But I think a lot of people are behind Donald Trump, right? Trump came out and said, don't be a panicker or a panicking, right? And Americans trust him. And there's a reason why Americans trust him. Look at his approval rating. It's slightly going up, right? Let's check out this narrative that the left is trying to get you to buy into.
And again, I invite you to come.
I will go. Let's go. We'll go together. I'll come with you. You come to Eloquent.
The town halls that we have been doing, where we are seeing Republicans and Democrats alike. I went to a county that Trump won by 20 points. Hundreds of people showing up and saying, I'm a Republican. I voted for Trump, and this is not what I voted for.
Let me just, one thing that's interesting.
And again,
yeah, people are not voting for this, but the polls are showing something else. There's a discrepancy here. That means somebody lying. Somebody lying. A Democrat that have a political interest to tell you that people are regretting voting for Trump, or polls. Which one's more objective? I'll leave it at there. But as you can see, the left is melting down over the fact that they're precious. Oh, you have to follow the law. Trump is not following the law. Right? There's these Democratic activists that work in academia. I'm telling you, academia has some of the most left-wing people in it. You're going to hear this guy start preaching to the American voter. Oh my God, American voters need to grapple with racism and sexism because they'd rather have a felon than a black woman. Let's take a look.
Have to grapple with it. Because it's the snake, it's the beast coiled up in the heart, the bosom of the country, as Frederick Douglass said. And the fact that they are doubling down on this shows you what kind of human beings they actually are.
Say more.
We chose a felon who is more interested in loyalty, who's more interested in retribution, who's more interested in grift than in democracy. And we chose a felon because we didn't want to elect a black woman. So to read that, to actually explicate that, is to say we would rather destroy the republic than for that to have happened. And until we grapple with it, there's no amount of protesting I could do. There's no amount of resistance that could come into play to actually force 78 million people to grapple with what motivated them to put themselves in this position.
And
Bro, I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of this shit. Yo, I'm about to curse. I'm tired of this nonsense, bro. Like, America didn't vote for Kamala Harris because she didn't offer anything that the American people want. Over the last 4 years, she said she would not do anything differently than Joe Biden. Joe Biden promised to build back better. She's part of the Democratic Party. She's the vice president of an administration that nobody liked. Look at the approval ratings, right? And this is the funny part. I'm tired of these black liberals crying racism at every inconvenience or lack of ability from someone displayed by someone from some African descent. I'm tired of it. This biracial woman didn't have the talent. She didn't have the talent in 2019. She sure as hell didn't have the talent in 2024, but y'all still ran her because you felt like she was entitled to power. No one's entitled to power. To gain power, you must give a bargain to the people you want to govern. And no one saw any benefit in her. Actually, I lied. There's people that saw benefit in her, but most of the country said, no, we value Donald Trump's approach more. And this is why they keep trying to peddle this line of, oh my God, there's Trump regret, there's Trump regret, there's Trump regret. Where? I don't see it. Democrats, you only hang around yourselves. Democrats are some of the most isolated people I know in this country. What Republican you talk to? What conservatives you talk to? Last time I checked, Democrat women are the most likely to disassociate with someone with a different political opinion than them. Last time I checked, Democratic women are more likely not to date somebody if they have an opposing political opinion. Y'all the least tolerant people in the world, somehow. But somehow, all you liberal women, I've talked to many Republican voters that are regretting voting for Trump. Okay, yeah, okay. The polls say otherwise, but okay. Okay. And you're gonna see how quickly their narrative kind of dismantles. Here's Dante Mills, I think that's how you say his name, and he's just gonna get demolished by Scott Jennings as per usual with common sense. Let's take a look.
That's not fair, and it can happen to anybody. So, and if we don't stop it now, the scope will get bigger, and then it will happen to you, and then you'll have a problem with it.
I think also you're conflating legal American citizens with people who came here illegally. We do this all the time in these debates. And I think what the administration is trying to do is be as aggressive as possible at deporting different kinds of populations. One, people who've committed heinous, violent crimes. Number two, people that were violent before they came here. Number three, anyone who came here illegally. I mean, look, I'm sorry, but if you came here illegally, no matter how well-intentioned you were, there's probably a decent chance you're going to be sent back. And that's
think about it. I equate illegal immigration to someone trespassing, right? They may have not had ill intent. Let's say it was raining outside and someone came onto my property. Let's say I had a big patio or something that protects them from the rain. And I see them and I'm like, hey, look, I know it's raining. You can't be under my property. And he refuses to leave. I call the police. Guess what happened? Are the police going to force me to let him stay under my porch? Or the police is going to say, hey, look, you're trespassing on this man's property. He told you to leave. You have to leave. What's going to happen? But we can't do that for the border? Liberals, y'all not making sense. And the reason why you're not making sense is because the reason why y'all so behind illegal immigration is it benefits you politically. And I just wish Democrats just be more like honest about why they're so they feel so strongly of allowing illegals in this country, regardless if they're criminals or not.
That's what the administration clearly communicated to the American people in the election. They overwhelmingly voted for it, and it's not particularly a controversial matter.
But no, the libs, they keep pretending it is. They keep pretending it is. Right? And I don't understand how people can't not see how much of a political interest that the Democratic Party has. From Wendy Wu, was it her name Wendy Wu? I forget the lady. The Boston mayor, Chicago mayor, Eric Adams is running as an independent. It's obvious to see what the Democratic Party wants to do here. Let's look at more reactions to this breaking news of SCOTUS ruling that Trump had the authority to deport these people, and these judges had no jurisdiction to sit here and question a president who's using a law that was already passed by Congress, which sets legislation for the country. But a federal judge, because of his feelings, because of his conflict of interest. His daughter works in something dealing with immigration, and he has to protect her grift. He had to rule against Donald Trump and told him, well, we're going to pause on that. Come get out of here.
Now we have a Fox News alert. The Supreme Court just cleared the way for Trump to deport illegals even faster. The High Court ruled that Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act to send Venezuelan gangbangers to a mega prison in El Salvador. This is a huge ruling in Trump's favor and a major win for the country. After, as you know, D.C. Judge James Boasberg ordered a stop to the deportations. So this is pretty significant. These deportations, Caroline, can keep going.
This is a massive legal victory, Jesse, a massive victory for law and order and for our constitutional republic and the sovereignty of the United States of America. We called on the Supreme Court to rein in these activist judges like Judge Boasberg, who was completely out of line in trying to say that the president didn't have the executive.
And I wonder, too, where the left changes tune, right? Where they'll say, oh, we got to follow the judges. The judges have to overlook this. They have to review this. Now let's see if they're going to comply with the Supreme Court justice and see, oh, their ruling was fair. Or they're going to repeat what we said about their judges. Oh, these are activist judges. These are judges appointed by Democrats, and you thinking they should be allowed to stop Donald Trump from doing his agenda, an agenda that 92% of them don't agree with? You think they have jurisdiction to stop that? Let's see the talking points, because you're going to hear it. Oh, these judges, well, we need to do something about the Supreme Court. These people, bro. And then online, you're seeing these leftists talking about, here's Making America Great Again. And they're putting AI-generated film about like a bunch of Americans working these jobs that essentially is supposed to be like some type of own. And I think the messaging backfired. The left don't understand Americans. The left can't even, I think, resonate with normal Americans. I think I did a video on this already. Democrats can't resonate with normal Americans. Progressives definitely can't resonate with normal Americans. This is why they have to threaten you with violence and fear. Because that's all they have. That's all they have. Democrats and progressives, they got nothing.
Executive authority to deport foreign terrorists off of our soil. We have always maintained the position at the White House that the president was well within his constitutional authority to do so. And this decision proves that President Trump and our administration have always been right from the beginning. He will continue to utilize the Alien Enemies Act to remove foreign terrorists and Tren de Aragua members, vicious gang members from American communities. And because of this ruling, the United States of America is a much safer place. Our team will get to work tomorrow to deport these heinous, violent foreign terrorists from our neighborhood.
Imagine that. And that's what the Democrats are fighting for. That's what the Democrats are here trying to justify. They should stay in the country. They should have due process. Maybe. But you broke the country's laws. You have to be deported. You have to suffer a consequence, just like anyone who breaks the law. But I digress. I think I'm gonna leave it off there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you agree with this ruling? I'm guessing most of you do. Does it make sense that the president should have authority to deport people, just like he has authority over the border? Shouldn't he not have the authority to deport people who came through the border illegally, and we know they came through the border illegally? Democrats, y'all not making sense, bro. If you just look at the intentions, the actions of a lot of these Democrats, they operate off of they defend these illegals because they see the illegals as Democrat voters. And there's already stuff out there about illegals getting Social Security, Medicaid. They caught some of the Social Security stuff on voting rolls. This is what the Democrats want. They want to use illegals as a way to leverage the system in their favor. They want to use illegals as a type of slave class for cheap labor here in the US of A. And they defend this stuff. Oh, you guys don't want to go pick cotton, says the black woman called Jasmine Crockett. And we're like, no, it's dignified work. We have a lot of unemployed people in this country. And you don't think they deserve anything like what you want? They want people to live off the system, because that puts Democrats in the power seat. Democrats is pining for slavery, and they don't even know it. They want a group of people that's relying on them, and if they ever go against them, they can, hey, okay, I'll take your Medicare away, I'll take your food stamps away. If you do something I don't like, that's the Democratic Party for you. always want a slave class. And it seems like in the modern day, Democrats view illegals as the slave class that they need in this country for it to function, making the same arguments that slave masters made in the 1800s. Democrats, you can never run away from your roots. Democrats, you can never run away from your past. And you got 77% of black people voting for this party every election and have the goal to call black conservatives coons when their party, their politicians have this view of people. Make it make sense. But, I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking, your guys' perspectives in the comment section below. Let me lay it out for me in there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.